I am recording. Perfect. Helps if I point at the camera. But welcome to the channel. There's going to be a link down below in the description box, as always, to credit, in this case here, Logan Paul of Impulsive, which is his YouTube channel for his podcast, along with his co-host, star, Mark, I believe his name is, who's got a book called The Fifth Vital. He's a recovered heroin addict, turned his life around, and it's pretty amazing. I don't really know much about him, but the point of this video was just to bring to your attention that this happened and that I enjoyed the interview. I watched the whole thing in its entirety. It's paused at 9:39 only because this is kind of like where, you know what I mean? Like it shows all of them together and it's not like blurry or anything like that. So like years ago, I would have been like, I would have been one of those libtards. Now, I don't know, something's changed. I no longer have, like I said, that sheep mentality. And I think that that can happen, honestly, from both sides. Whether you're liberal or a conservative, I do find that like when you're a liberal and there's certain values that most people would follow, those liberals tend to be like, yep, I'm on board with that. And then when you're conservative and you're on this side, yep, I'm all for that. You know, the gun rights, the wall, and no abortion, and then no, screw the wall, or pro-abortion, ban the guns. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like very odd that it seems like everybody's just on board with the same shit, and I'm kind of like, well, wait a second, I'm a liberal, and I know this because if you take the quiz, I would fall more under liberal. But I thought the Trump wall was a great idea, and then I was being shunned. This is the point of this video, is to show you that I've changed. And then all my libtard followers on Twitter were like, "You're a fake resistor." I was like, what does that even mean? What the fuck does that mean? I never said I was a resistor. I just said I wasn't a Trump supporter. But as I said, as time has gone on, I'm realizing that I'm learning things about myself. I'm learning things more about these individuals here by taking the time to listen to them and not listen to the other people talk about them. And no matter who you side with, excuse me, in politics, you would think this would go on my News Politics Controversy YouTube channel, but it is Logan Paul, and he's a wrestler, and that's all things wrestling. He's the current U.S. champ. He's the longest reigning champion that we have at the moment in WWE, and he was able to get this interview, and I think, like I said, I'm being humble here, I used to fucking hate Logan Paul. I thought he was a fucking clown. Kind of the same thing with Trump, but I was following what these people were saying about him. Some of the stuff was true. My point is I feel like I've grown. Logan Paul has grown. He's changed. I think he's matured. I think he's a great person. He showed a lot of vulnerability when he felt bad about what he did, and you know, the whole Force thing, and how Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson didn't really want to talk to him after that, and how it affected him. And he had John Cena on his podcast when he was talking about it, Logan Paul, that is. It's just like moments like that. It's like, yeah, no, I don't think he's faking that. And then you kind of look for a pattern of behavior, and I really can't stop myself but like really admire him. I mean, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was envious, I was jealous. I mean, I've always wanted to be on TV. I've always wanted to be in wrestling. I wanted to be a wrestler or a manager or commentator more than I think you will ever imagine. Like, I mean, the desire is brighter than 1,000 suns. Okay? So when YouTube came about, it was the same thing. I was like, oh my God, I want to be a YouTuber, because I also always wanted to have like a talk show, like a Jimmy Kimmel, a David Letterman, a Johnny Carson, you know, that kind of stuff. I always wanted to be on TV, not because I thought I was special, because I love talking. I love doing interviews. I love this shit. And of course, being able to have money to survive properly, right? And Logan Paul is all those things. He's a YouTuber. He's a podcaster. He's a fucking wrestler, and a very good one at that. He's literally living my dream. So yeah, I'm going to be honest. It's like, damn, man. I'm jealous, but I could admit that. When I didn't like him and hated him before, it had nothing to do with jealousy. It had to do with me being hung up on a few of his faults. Then I realized I've got faults. I've done, said things I'm not proud of. So has he. So has Trump. So is Biden, maybe, if he's aware of what he's doing. No, I'm just kidding. I don't hate Biden. You know what I mean? I just think he's not fit for office, but whatever. I don't want to make this too political, even though this is pretty political. But, and I kind of went off on a rant. I don't even know what the point of this video is. I think it was just to kind of maybe show some people a little bit more about me, which I've done a couple of times when talking about things outside of wrestling. Because I do think within reason, politics can kind of shed light onto the type of a person is. Of course, there's going to be things about Trump that I don't agree with, but that goes for anything in life. And when you vote and you support a person for a candidate to be potential president or prime minister, in my case, because I live in Canada, it doesn't mean that you take all the baggage with him. Well, what about that time he said this? What about that time he did that? It's like, great. I'm voting for somebody to run for president or prime minister in my case. Just because you're picking someone doesn't mean you're taking the whole baggage. And I used to have that mentality. So again, I'm glad that I pulled my head out of my ass, me personally, and that I'm able to enjoy moments like this more. I think that's kind of like the point of the video. It wasn't so much to like review the interview itself. Like I said, that's going to be subjective, right? Like I just enjoy it. And I wouldn't have, like I said a few years ago, some people will enjoy this video, some people will hate it. It's kind of like anything. Some people like Pepsi, some people like Coke. I like neither. I like Diet Pepsi. Or the taste, and it just so happens that there's no sugars, there's no carbs, there's plenty of aspartame, but whatever. You live life once. So yeah. And this is also a little bit coincidental, a little bit ironic, that I made a video about, like, do political leanings from your favorite superstars bother you if they don't line up with your own? And then the very next day, boom, this news came out, and I had no idea. So it's just kind of funny how that worked out, right? But then I gave it a couple of days to think on it, and well, that, and I've been in a lot of pain. I pinched a really bad nerve in my back. It's been like half a month. I could barely sit or stand or do anything. Anyways, I don't want to talk about me. But yeah, so I haven't been recording in general as much as I'd like to. But moments like this are just nice to see. I like to see people thrive, do well, evolve, right? And Logan Paul has done that. I mean, if you look at him now compared to just a few years ago, it's just absolutely insane. Even this Mark guy changing his life around. I can relate to a story like his. Again, I don't want to make this about me. I could do that in another video. Trump, I mean, I'm not an expert on, but I mean, I've followed him on and off for many years. I remember way back in the day, what was it, like WrestleMania 5, I saw it live, and Donald Trump was there, and it was just like, oh, big thing. I've watched The Apprentice, just little pieces here and there. Then he was president, and I was told I had it to hate him. But again, like I said, both sides attack each other equally. I don't think there's a side that's more tolerant than another when it comes to discussing things with somebody from the other side. I think just in general, as long as you're like neutral and you're respectful, I find people can be fairly calm. Being more neutral now, like I said, I've yet to be attacked, for being nice when I'm talking about Trump or even Biden, or poking a bit of fun at either of them. Like the time Trump said Puerto Rico is an island surrounded by water. Big water. Ocean water. It was funny. I like poking fun. It's like a roast, right? I do the same thing with Biden. I do a little bit more with Biden because he's just got these moments that are very cringy funny. But anyhow. So yeah, so good for Logan Paul, Donald Trump. The other thing too I really enjoyed is Trump's sense of humor. It kind of reminds me a little bit of my own. I just enjoy that kind of humor that he has. And that's, you know what I mean? That's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm kind of running in circles, just kind of rambling. Oh my God, did I really just go on for almost 11 minutes about absolutely nothing? Just basically saying that I'm having fun. Maybe you'll have fun watching it. Let me know what you think. Like I said, it's not a big deal. If you're like, I don't want to hear what he has to say, great. And if you do, great. And it really doesn't need to be a big deal. One of my best friends in the States is literally the poster child to like a stereotypical Trump supporter. He's got the flags. He's got the pickup truck with like an 8-inch lift kit, the big tires. Got the flag, don't tread on me. And he's got the shotgun. Like, I'm not even kidding, okay? Like, he's that guy. But I've known him for years before that when I met him in World of Warcraft. And just with like how nice of a person he is, considerate, just a good dude, a good friend. And when I found out he was a Trump supporter, I was like kind of like blown away because I was like, but I thought they were all like, you know, a certain way. And it's like, no, it's not like that. But it goes the other way too. Not all liberals are the same. They may have some common traits between them, that's for sure. But I do think that there's a lot of tribalism going on between both sides. And it's kind of sad. So that's why I wanted to make this video, like I said, to kind of get that off my chest, because it is a big part of me, things that are going on in the world, politics being a big part of that. I find it interesting. I enjoy psychology, how people interact with one another, all that sort of stuff, and I'm glad to see my own change. Not necessarily for the better, it's just different, and I'm having more fun. Like I said, it allows me to have dialogue and conversations with people that I normally would not have allowed myself to have a conversation with. So, there you have it. It doesn't have to be so serious. There's a lot worse things going on in the world, like the whole Gaza thing, the Russia-Ukraine thing, and all these other things that are going on. Like, that's absolute chaos, absolute pandemonium. So when I think of events like that, I'm like, there's no sense in arguing about how could you say something nice about that person. Don't you know he did, he said. It's like, okay, great, he's not Hitler. You know what I mean? Like, there are lines that I draw, don't get me wrong. For me, that's another video for another day on another channel. Where's that line drawn? But yeah. Okay, that's enough. Thumbs up if you like the video. It does greatly help support the channel with the algorithm. And if you didn't like the video, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. And I'll bend it in half. I'll twist it. And I'll break off a solo Sokoan spike in the rectum. And again, for clarification, that is your thumb, not mine, you dirty bastard. And if you want to subscribe, naturally, that would be great. But if not, I get it. Thanks for stopping by anyways. Take care, and maybe I'll see some of you in the next one. Bye for now.